And we should be live. Let me go ahead and check. Says we're live, but are we actually live? Big mystery.
Yes, well, we are live, it seems.
Awesome, we are in fact live. Alright, hello everyone, Ace here. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest Orososium.
Hello everyone.
Welcome to the stream, Oros, and today we are back with some more High Republic adventures. Which we're already seeing the return of some characters that should be dead. Because last we saw this kid up front here tried throwing a thermal detonator at a dude, only for it to, I guess it was a sticky thermal detonator or something, only for it to attach to another dude who then decided to Allahu Akbar him. So
Ace, you know that no one fucking dies here. We want them to, but they don't die.
But the sheer fact that he apparently somehow survived a thermal detonator puts us into the territory of, well, maybe this is just a front cover that's stylized and he isn't in it at all. But I'm not going to exactly bet on that. Krieg says, well, we are here. Ace is late. Yeah, sorry. Or says, Ace is never late. He is torturous because knowing we have to read these comics is already painful enough. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Band-aid off now. Yep. Laughing Cavalier says, time to not learn how the storm wall fell. Yes. So I'm reading, Krieg says, so I am reading Han Solo Paradise Snare. Decent book. Okay. Or says to Cavalier, that is the question no one is going to answer. Yeah. Aristocratic Cthulhu says, hello, glad to catch one of these from the start again. That's good. Here, Krieg says, but don't you get it? The Stormwall is a stand-in for the Iron Curtain. I mean, it probably is, because everything has to be political to these people, but Aristocratic Cthulhu says, wait, this is the guy that was so full of himself? Yes. You have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down, asks Krieg. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say just that.
Aristocratic Cthulhu says to Krieg, hard to further narrow it down, since there's not really a difference between them outside of visual ones. Yes, but he is also the guy that did try to toss a thermal detonator at the Eye of the Storm, only, like I said, for it to snag on someone else, who then just tried to give him the bear hug of death. You know, and somehow he survives a thermal detonator explosion that close to him.
Considering that we have seen thermal detonators in this comic that act more like grenades from today, you know, not surprising.
Even then it's nonsense, and everyone knows even then it's nonsense.
I know, but I don't think we can expect these guys to make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Laughing Cavalier says, the war ends here, read, the series gets cancelled here. Good. Ace says, or Krieg says, Ace, one of these guys could get hit by an Earth Death Star blast, and I'd want a second opinion on if they're alive or not. Yeah. Yeah. Winter's King says, I'm depressed, but I'm here. How are y'all? Well, I'm sorry to hear you depressed, Winter's King. Hopefully things do get better for you. Ready to laugh together? Let's do this, says Greek. Alright, let's get into it. Let's see how many people actually had to read the plot of this comic before it became publicly available. So we got Daniel Jose Older, 1. We've got the 2 letterers, so that's 3 people. We've got another, so we've got an editor, 4, an assistant editor, 5. Another editor, 6, a senior editor, 7, and then we have the Lucasfilm Story Group, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 people, once again, had to read the plot of this comic.
Yeah, going for the lower end this time. We aren't close to 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into the madness. Star Wars The High Republic, The Battle of Eriadu. Finally a glimmer of hope. The freedom fighters have been saved from near certain annihilation by the fortuitous arrival of the Republic fleet led by Admiral Kronara. But the fight is far from over. Nahil General Vase and her fleet continue to bombard Eridu from the air, while the Warden and his troops rush the resistance stronghold and Bree-Frang City. From his artillery command tower overlooking the battlefield, Resistance leader Farzala Tarabal faces an impossible choice.
Don't tell me everything is going to end perfectly well by the end of this comic.
Oh, you know it. Except for the artwork, because the artwork on page 1, panel 1 is already crap. Seriously, why is it... I'm pretty sure the thrusters, the trails from the thrusters, aren't even lined up with where they should be on this ship either. Which is a great sign of where things are headed.
I want to say that the ships that are blowing up, you could excuse making them look worse because, you know, they are not that important. They are dying.
Mm-hmm.
But the fighter that is the one that is surviving, that is in the center of this picture, is shit. Why?
That's a very good question. Compare this, if you will, to the artwork that we've been seeing, that we saw in Star Wars Rogue Squadron, the comic book series, and it is a world of difference.
Holy shit, in that comic, you could see sometimes the individual details on the X-Wings that are sometimes made out of fucking scrap.
Mm-hmm.
Why this fighter should be sleek, well detailed, and easy to make, because they are supposedly in the height on their technological prowess.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I could draw this, and I draw like shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure even the line work isn't even really lining up, because I'm sure if you look at the angles on that wing, on the two wings, the angles for each of the wings for how they curve is slightly off. And various little details like that just...
Yeah, they didn't care. They didn't put any effort here. And we are not still in the dialogue, people.
Alferia says, finally, a glimmer of a reason why the storm all fell. Yeah, we're not getting that. Creek says, I rewatched Andor Season 1 over the last week. It was really good on second viewing. I heard Season 2 is good as well. That's it. What's interesting is, I've just watched what Critical Drinker has had to say. And yeah, from what I understand, the first 3 episodes of Season 2 start off very meh. And then there was that controversy, which admittedly I was poking fun at as well, and it should still be poked fun at because the excuse for defending it was definitely silly. However, the actual show after those 3 episodes does legitimately become good from what I understand, and it makes the show itself good overall. So I'm surprised,
considering it is modern.
Yes, but I guess a broken clock is right twice a day. Who knew? Krieg says, near certain annihilation, who died? Name one hero that died. Alferia says, finally, a glimmer of reason. Yeah, we're not getting that. Joseph Levi says, here we are again, kids. Yep. Alferia says, I wish one of these main characters would finally die. Laughing Cavalier says, it looks like modern art. It really does. Krieg says, I want to make it all look very desperate, but they want to make it all look very desperate, but the writers are scared to put their characters in actual fucking danger. Yes. And then when they do, they just make sure the character survives with completely zero explanation. Like that one character that kamikazed an enemy tower with their starship, only to just for the next panel say, "Oh, I'm perfectly fine. Let's go kick their ass."
As we have said a few times, I don't like killing the characters that I make, but sometimes you have to, and sometimes it is perfect for the story to have someone die.
Mm-hmm.
No one dies in this comic, and if someone has died, they have been extras that no one cares about.
Yep. Krieg says to Alfarius, if we applied any common sense, all of them would have died back in, 2019? Yeah, pretty much. Sev says, another reminder of why the old EU is light years better, folk. Yeah. Winter's King says, behold, Disney, devil's kith and kin. Mm-hmm. Krieg says, compare this to Jango Fett open season, it leaps and bounds better than this. Yep. Alfarius says, it's like the people making this comic just want it to end too. They probably do. Disney is probably just Disney is definitely hemorrhaging money from this comic book series and from the High Republic as a whole. And they are probably just trying to end it as quickly as they possibly can, to be honest.
I still don't understand how you could make a contract that makes you lose more money if you stop than continue.
I don't know. But I guess they may have found a way, or who knows. Siege says, hello, getting a coffee and more weed. Alfarius says, please God end my suffering. I miss Geode. And Greg says, are there still issues still coming out in 2025? Yes, this is an issue that came out in April of 2025. And there's another series that is ongoing and just had one drop too last month. So I think there's going to be at least 20 issues of High Republic Adventures here, and we are currently on issue 17, just to give you an indication of probably where this is going to head. There might be one more one-shot issue or something coming as well. I don't remember, but I think we're nearing the end of it though. So
we can only pray.
Yes. Alfarius says, yes, Krieg, they are. All right, let's continue. We're so close to victory. We were so close. Close to victory. Close to making it out of alive. All of us. But the Warden is making a run at the lava reactor core beneath Briefrang City. Any disturbance to it will devastate the entire region.
Are they loyal to me? In hellfire on the Arcoriah.
So there's only one move to make. All Jedi forces! All Republic forces! And what the fuck is that face he's making?
Speed face? I am going to make a comparison. It looks like the old design for Sonic for the real actor movies.
It does. At least we're getting more detail in that image than the previous panel, but it's not necessarily good.
I mean, if you look down to the hand, you see that a few of the fingers are
crooked
screwed.
and hell. Crooked as hell, yes. Yes, they are. It is not good. Begin immediate evacuation of Briefrang City. Head for Silverlight Bay. Those across the bay, head to the far outskirts of Eridu City. Help anyone you can, but don't stop. Siege says, these faces, man. And do I see four smug faces? Fuck these writers and artists. They're so chill during tense situations. For fuck's sake. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Then again, why should they be tense? They are never in any real danger.
Greek says, the only okay panels still look like the artist worked on it at home, 8 p.m. on a Friday while working through a third glass of wine. They probably were, unironically. Cavalier says, Rachel Zegler chin face.
Oh.
Alright, let the pain continue.
Okay. Do you want me to voice this woman or?
Yeah, go ahead and voice her.
Okay. Everyone, this way, please. Fernin, Rico, what's where you?
Ah!
No.
Whoa, thank you. Ishtar, may I have a word?
Huh? Master Jada, of course.
I don't have the information. Varzala does, of course. But I'm not sure we'll be able to effectively evacuate in time to avert total annihilation.
If Master Farsala thinks it is the only option, we have to try.
Naturally, my dear. But I wonder if you might check in with him while we do. See if you can find out more about what's going on. You're good friends with him, yes?
Yes, well...
Ah, your feelings are so strong, my child. That's okay, dear one. That's okay.
It is? No!
No, it's not.
It isn't.
Speaking of things that are not okay, some of the faces, once again, in the background. We got smiley faces on the bottom left panel. We've got people with no mouths on the middle panel. And on the top panel, too.
And remember, they are destroying the whole fucking city, and they all look so fucking chill.
Yes, they do. They even think that they're not going to survive. And they're still looking pretty chill about
it. Why do they try to sell us that this is such a dangerous situation, but they don't give a shit?
That's a very good question. The shot would be nearly impossible, and at this angle, even a direct hit would still land in Briefang City. This thing was meant to take out dreadnoughts. It would level a whole block, and our spies said the warden seems to have a hostage on board, the Starhopper with him. Plus, it's the Starhopper. What the shit is that face?
Constipation.
I don't know what that face is, and I don't even think that would be constipation. Well, maybe at the final stages of it, the final painful stages of it, but... Okay.
I am going to say that I commend them trying to give some of these pages a bit more detail, but I am not sure if they are doing it right.
Yeah, they're not. Let me read some more of the comments here. Siege says these faces. Okay, I've read that. Creek says, did these absolute sawdust brains think that the best area to store civilians was around a lava pool, which is connected to one of the highest priority targets is in the city? Isn't that using human shields? Isn't that a war crime? Good point. Good point. But this is High Republic Jedi, so it's completely in character. Siege says, yes. Creek says, a high-value target, mind you, that, if I remember correctly, is an unstable power generator that, if hit, could easily have a catastrophic chain reaction that would kill every single civilian there. Yes. Winter's King says, I think they're supposed to be shouting. It's not what it looks like. Siege says, his right eye is borked. It kind of, yes, it is. But it's really the mouth and just the rest of the face that really, it is the eyes, but it's also the mouth and how it's all drawn and comes together. That really makes it a, what the fuck is this sort of situation.
And to be perfectly honest, it is not strange in this comic series to have the eyes destroyed.
Correct. If anything, this is one of the some of the better looking highs in High Republic, as painful as it is to say. Winter King says, but the artist turned it into soy. Yes, they did. That is a soy face, if there ever was one.
By the way, speaking back to what Craig said, you are trying to tell me that this guy is having second thoughts about destroying one ship that has one possibly friendly person and a block of buildings that are most likely abandoned by now. When they have so many people next to the generator that if hit is going to blow up.
Yep.
I am going to sympathize again with the pirates. I don't care.
Creek
and I feel are the good guys.
Creek says, of all the places to hide a civilian, they chose to put them right next to an unstable reactor over a lava pool. Have none of them watched a Saturday morning superhero cartoon? That's what villains do. Correct. But then again, like I said, this is completely in character for High Republic Jedi. High Republic Jedi are the villains of this story, unironically.
At this point, we cannot defend them, even if we tried.
Jonathan Phillips says, it feels like they rested on a tween frame. Yeah, except the sad part is, these are the key frames, basically. If you see some of the other stuff that we're going to be seeing as this comic goes on, you know exactly the kind of pain and suffering we're in for. Siege says, so much weirdness. Yep. Creek says, I know that's in character. That makes it funnier. It is funnier because of that, yes.
I'm painful, but yes.
Alright, so let the pain and suffering continue. You want to voice this, chick?
Yes, okay. Parsara Taraval.
Ah! Yes, I'm here.
What are you doing, Jedi? I am trying to win a battle over here in Eridu City. We can't evacuate all of Bright Frank. Millions will be wiped out.
We don't have a choice, Severin. It's the only way.
Find another way.
The Warden is heading to the reactor core. It won't take much to cause total disaster. Admiral Cornara's fleet is all tangled up with General Vice's Nihil fighters. Given all that, I don't think we'll be able to stop the Warden. All we can do is get as many people as far away from there as possible. Can you send the Tarkin warcraft on Silverlight Bay to take evacuees upriver? And alert your Eridu City troops to head out of the city with their families.
There is no time to fight. There is no time to evacuate.
Which is actually a fair concern. Because because you should have evacuations take a massive logistical effort and can't just be done on the fly. Just look at any natural disaster and see, like a hurricane, and just watch the trains of people, cars and whatnot, that just get stuck in traffic jams. And they have days, often, of advance warning and take days to evacuate.
Yeah, but knowing that shit like this was going to happen, we had time to plan a fucking wedding.
Correct!
This is so fucking painful, Ace.
Hey, at least these newlyweds will get their dream of having a lot of people die during their honeymoon day, which is what they wanted.
Because they are fucking psychopaths.
Correct! I just don't think they were expecting to be among the dead.
We can only wish.
Yes, because let's face it, Daniel Jose Elder is not going to let that actually happen.
You know who might die? The one woman in this comic that is heterosexual.
I know, I'm sorry. And those faces. And speaking of, when I said that previous image panel was the keyframe, compare that to this, and especially the background characters and just how poorly drawn they are. Like, the guy that's standing on the left-hand side, his forehead is jutting out like all hell.
Oh, that is horrible, and I haven't seen it until now. Thank you, Ace.
The person that's left to him, the chick that's sitting there at the computer, looks like a crash test dummy.
Maybe it is. But let me see.
Wait a second, I have to see something. Did they just draw a frowny face and one eye on one dude in the background? It looks like they did. So if you look at the dude just right of of Lula's arm, just right there standing up and looking down at something, you can see a line drawn where it would look right like a frowny face from where the mouth is, and just one eye with another line from the eye.
That is hideous.
Yes, it is.
But you know what? I am not surprised.
And of course, the characters that are up closer don't exactly look a whole lot better now, do they? No.
You know the best looking character? The pig.
Sadly, yes.
Because I think in this whole comic, in all of them, we have not seen once, or maybe we have seen, yes, once, a character that is a woman and beautiful.
Yeah. Alright, so let's see what we've got here. Major cities, not worlds. Krieg says, let's be very honest here. A planet as built up as Eridu should be actually taking one of their major worlds. Should be like a Fallujah X4 X Cancer. An absolute meat grinder. Mr. Biden, you did well of evacuating Afghanistan. Would you like to help us evacuate this planet after the gay wedding? God damn it. And that's another image. That's another case of why evacuations take a long fucking time, because otherwise you're going to end up with images like those idiots that tried to ride along the wings of an aircraft and on the landing gear of the aircraft. And, well, you saw the footage, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if you haven't, you can imagine it, because it is not hard.
There's apparently one dude that ended up getting the landing gear when it retracted. He actually ended up, I guess, just getting caught on it and just stayed with the plane for a good while. And there's basically footage of him just ragdolling repeatedly on the side of the aircraft like it's a video game or something. Quite the messed up footage, but
that is fucking depressing, man.
Yeah. And then 4chan got hold of the footage and added in Half-Life 2 ragdoll effects to it.
It is 4chan. Nothing new.
Correct. Laughing Cavalier has a sad face. He says, do I see non-humans in Eridu Defense Force? I think you might. Let's actually double check. Yes, I'm pretty sure we did see some, because if we looked at one of the previous pages, page 8, these guys, I'm pretty sure, are part of the Eridu Defense Force, and they are aliens.
Because what is canon anymore?
Yes, what is canon anymore? New Republic fanfic confirms, says Krieg. Yep. The Traveler says, SW, no SJW. No, sadly, there's all the SJW in High Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let the pain continue.
Yes. And this is going to hurt, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Go!
Why even put a speech bubble there if you're not going to use it to cover the actual text? What the hell is this?
Good question. Give me a second.
Hold on a second. There's some other stuff for me to complain about, too, once it gets back.
Okay, sorry.
Cavaliers.
The page reloaded for some reason.
Okay. Creek says, yes, the Tarkins. Big fans of aliens. Mm-hmm. Cavalier says, maybe the real can was the friends we made along the way.
I don't think we made any new friends with this comic. I think we just lost people.
Yeah. But I will say this. So, I found something else to bitch about. So, once again, the artwork is atrocious. But I want you to look at her hand. Count the number of fingers on that hand. And in case you think that her species doesn't have 4 fingers and a thumb per hand, well, look at the next panel in comparison and count the number of fingers on those.
Yeah, it has happened to her a few times.
Yeah.
But they have either taken 1 or 2, and no one cared.
Creek says, my biggest issue is not how bad the stories are. My biggest issue with Disney, Star Wars, and TCW 2008 is that they use the planets and characters that already exist, proceed to ignore any inconvenient lore. Absolutely correct. That has consistently been my biggest complaint with regards to the High Republic. That it just continues to ignore the lore. And yeah, that is also a valid critique of Filoni at this point too. So,
I mean, they say that this is the new lore, this is the new canon, but you are still fucking up what comes after that you say is still canon.
Yep.
I don't think we can win against these people in this discussion because they just refuse to have one.
Well, we can win. It's very simple for us to win. All we have to do is just wait until Disney finally goes, fuck this shit, I'm out, and decides to stop hiring people like Daniel Jose Older to write comics.
Yeah, but that is a different kind of win. I mean, in a discussion, because they don't want to talk about this and correct the shit they are making. They are just waiting for this to just flop and probably sweep this under the rug.
Well, that's the thing. Them just choosing to ignore the discussion altogether doesn't actually cause them to automatically win. It's not an automatic win button. If anything, it's an automatic I lose button for them. Because they basically are admitting that they don't have an actual counter.
Yeah, that is no news, sadly. But still, they keep going. And we still have far too much comic to go through.
Yeah, this is correct. But let's continue, shall we? And get through more of it so we have less to deal with.
Okay, let's see how much this worth. Farsala, it's Ishnar.
Ishnar,
Shh. Just let me talk. You changed me, Farsala. You didn't mean to, I'm sure. But that is why it worked. Just being you, easily, simply you. In that very first moment I met you on Alhuta, and every moment since. You being you felt like a challenge, because you make being good look so easy. And I am an expert.
You make being good look so easy, you know, while you deliberately put entire planets into peril and hold up civilians near a priority military target. You make being good look so easy, Farzala. Also, so that is the first thing to bitch about. The second is this massive monologue in the middle of this chaos. I fucking hate when they do this sort of shit right here and make it a long, drawn-out monologue.
You know, well, first, let me tell you that it is very, very hard to keep on talking with this bullshit is going on. Because I want to stop at almost every sentence sentence and complain. But if you want to have this fucking speech, you do it after this is over or when you aren't around the people you are trying to help. Because if any of these people are paying any attention to you because you are there to help, I shall remind everyone once more, they are going to be very fucking angry and probably either make it known to you personally or become even more distraught, let's say. Why the fuck are you having this brain fart in front of civilians that are scared? Why?
Krieg says they mocked the Andor writers for using Wikipedia, but at least they had the brains to check. No, let Disney keep hiring idiots. Let them keep burning the franchise. It's for the best. Laughing Cavalier says, you know, I'm something of an expert myself. Winter's King says, the most evil guy in the comic Disney. You make being good look easy. Laughing Cavalier says, that panel looks like Picasso's Guernica, except worst. Anyways, let the pain continue, please.
Yes, let's see what else comes from... Look, I am going to read and not make a comment until it is done. And I am an expert at everything. Everything. But I am terrible at that. And I was so mad. How dare you show me up on my own turf? And that changed me. It made me love you. Oh my... Right? I almost threw up.
This dialogue is some of the most disjointed, incomprehensible that has graced us through the entirety of the High Republic. And I say this with zero exaggeration. Telling a person of the most evil organization in the High Republic that they make being good look easy. That this person is supposedly an expert at everything, but they're terrible at something. First of all, that is what we call a contradiction. Because if you're an expert at everything, how can you be terrible at this one thing in particular? And two, how full of yourself do you have to be to believe that you're an expert at literally everything? That is some Dunning-Kruger shit if there ever was any. Third, this person made you mad, so you fell in love with them right then and there because they showed you up? That is fucking... Oh, the writing.
Considering how much pride this woman has in what she does, the only feeling I would have expected was for her to hate this guy. Because that is the only thing that makes sense. But okay, whatever you say. Though she is right in one thing. Looking at any of the Jedi in this continuity makes being good very easy. Because the pirates are better than the Jedi.
Creek says also, what is that species? Is it a cross between Nikto, Natalan, and a Quarren? Aleph Cavalier says, somehow a worse love story than Twilight. Yes! Krieg says, we may have been too harsh on Twilight. That alien put on at least twice his current weight and fat. He'd be a fantastic stand-in for Dev with statements like that.
You're not wrong.
I am probably. I know a lot of people I know a lot of people want me to cool it with the videos on Dev. Admittedly, I haven't made one in a while, but his latest take is really tempting me. So, you know, I assume you're familiar with the Kirsha drama, right? And her getting the cancel mob coming for her and Crime Boss Rocket City, that game dropping their sponsorship deal with her. So...
Yeah, because people are I was going to say a word that probably you don't want me to say, so go ahead.
That's actually a word that I think we can start getting away with, but, you know, I'm going to, I guess, hold off slightly a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to demonetize you again.
That's okay, but here's the thing. You want to know what Dev's take on that was?
Surprise me.
Dev's take, I shit you not, was that if you decided to leave negative reviews for Crime Boss Rock City because you were upset with them canceling their sponsorship deal and bending the knee, then you're just engaging in cancel culture, and you are no better than the cancellation attempt on Kirsche.
I am not going to say the word again because I am going to err on the side of caution, but yeah, I think you know what I think of this man.
And I am, like I said, very tempted to do a video on it. I very much might at this point with takes like that. I mean, he's going to be doing his response video, or he claims he's going to be doing one soon anyways, finally. He's been saying that since December, but that's neither here nor there. But if he does actually do it, he has said that he intends to do it against both me and Kirsche. So this is going to be some interesting timing for that, definitely. But also the sheer fact that he is actually saying that you're not allowed to stand up to cancel culture. And let's be honest, he's probably doing this, he's probably going with that take because of the person it's happening to.
It will not surprise me, to be honest.
The man's just gone full tribalist. Life Cavalier says, leave the multi-million-dollar company alone, Dev. Yeah, pretty much unironically. When you realize, when are you releasing that Space Trucker video, Darth Dev? Winter's King says, so he performed the hate to love alchemy. And Creek says, did they try to go for a yandere? Is that the term for it? Those waifus that hate the main character, abuse him, and that's supposed to be endearing. I think the term you're looking for is tsundere. Yandere would be creepy stalker types.
A bit more murdery, I think.
Yes, and a bit on the obsessed side of things too.
Look, don't think like these people can give a character. They are all the same, just different shades. Shall we continue then?
Yes, let's do. Winter's King says, Dev blaming the victim blaming when it comes to cancel culture. Imagine my shock. I mean, yeah. I mean, the shit that he's been defending recently, he's made some pretty atrocious... Like I said, he's made a lot of atrocious takes. I haven't done a video on him in a while. It's been a few weeks at least, so... I'm very much kind of leaning towards doing a video on that because, well, if nothing else, it is more news with regards to the whole Kirsche drama, but...
well,
let's continue.
It will be interesting if nothing else. Well, okay, where did I left it before I try to puke? Okay. Yeah. And I've loved you every moment since Farsa La Taraba.
Wait till she finds out he's gay.
I don't know which one of the two dots a bullet then. Oh, wait, it seems she knows. And I can't have you. I know that. I've made my peace with that. I have. In part because even though you lit the fire, and I'll always be grateful for that, I am the one who made the change. I can't have you, but I do know you. In some ways, better than even your best friends. I was with you on that prison ship, and I saw you at your worst. We're all still trying to heal from that hell. I know I am. And I just need to know. Are you sure there is no other way?
No. You won't escape me this. Master Urbatuk. Greetings, young... Alright, yeah.
Okay, if you want him, go ahead.
Greetings, young Farzala.
It's not to the forward one. We got separated and pinned down by here.
Any word from Farzala?
I might have... I don't know. Maybe I said the wrong thing. He just went quiet on me. I shall just...
Okay, so she's basically fucked everyone over with her monologue. Great work!
I mean, we already said that it was not the right place to have that fucking exposition bomb. But yeah, you are talking with the person that may save your ass. Do you really want to trauma dump this now?
Yeah. And in the next panel, she probably is the reason these guys got killed here. Or at least badly injured. And speaking of, look at their fucking hands. Not only look at their hands, look at the faces of the two characters watching. The eyes, and then the other person doesn't even have a face.
Because why try? Why give these people detail? Or those on the background? I am going to shut up now. This is piece. Whenever they try to give detail, and then you see the next page, and it is shit. Okay, do I voice this one or do you?
Yeah, go ahead and voice this one.
Okay. Everyone, take cover.
Creek says, "Oh dear Christ, the arm on the middle one." Yes, yes, that too.
It is fucking destroyed.
To be fair, this does look like it could be an explosion of sorts. So, but I'm not going to be that kind to them. I don't think that was intended. Creek says, "Dev has hit rock bottom. Unfortunately, he rented professional mining equipment. And that's supposed to be a chick. Is it bad that I have absolutely do not remember that one? That love confession may have been touching in a story where I actually gave half a crap about the characters. The only straight relation between the characters is that one black Jedi and the redhead." That's...
Yes.
Except no, because... Oh, yes, you're right. Now I know who you're talking about. They haven't pulled the trigger on that. It's been years worth of comics. The Traveler says the blaster pistol looks off, but I don't know enough about the High Republic.
Everything looks off in the High Republic. What are you saying?
Yes, everything does. Let the chaos continue.
Yeah. That's the droid that blasted me earlier.
I came to finish the job. All Jedi must die. Please. Do. Tell me, young Farzala, what is it you're so afraid of? Besides all your lightsabers, you mean? Come, young one. You know this is just a vision, and I'd never harm you, my son, even in death. So what do you fear? I followed your teachings, Master. I made peace with my own death. Even in that year of imprisonment, every day, I recognized death would come for me, and I have greeted it as a friend, as you taught me. What then? The lives of my friends. I made a pact with Court. I won't allow him to die. Yeah, this is not a path. This is not something that could totally turn you to the dark side. Surely not.
Yeah, it is, one of the few reasons why the Jedi were so final about relationships and feelings. Which, to be honest, they went too far. But you have, ironically enough, you have to achieve a fucking balance with this.
Correct. But this is the higher. But yeah, apparently we're not going to be getting that from these Jedi because reasons. We've never gotten that from these Jedi.
I mean, we go back a few pages in this comic, and we see the female Yoda wannabe saying that those feelings are okay. You can go fuck yourself. Thank you very much.
Krieg says, didn't that droid get destroyed 5 issues ago? Yeah, I thought that too. That's a good question. What the hell?
I mean, it was really almost vaporized, if nothing else. Why is it back? Not even the droids can die in this fucking comic.
Apparently not. Alright, let's continue the madness. Aha! You have become so powerful since my death that you hold dominion over who lives and dies. No, that's not what I meant. I just want to do everything I can to get them out alive. Is that wrong of me? Right and wrong is not what we're discussing, my child. That's beyond my ken, young one, even now. Yeah, that is beyond the ken of a High Republic Jedi. They probably don't know the difference between right and wrong. Hence the training regime that they have for turning their Padawans into Jedi Knights.
And we are never going to let this fucking comic live it down.
No! No. We are discussing fear and why you won't face what it is you're truly afraid of, Do you know what I speak of now, Farzala? Okay, but in the actual original lore, the Jedi did actually consider fear to be something that is a moral wrong, at least when it came to Jedi philosophy.
Yeah, and just as a side note, we will never have a master that is having problems with fear because they will never achieve that position. Just in case.
Correct. Just look at Anakin. He didn't make master. He was still a knight.
Yeah, but well, let's remember that we had a lot of promotions, so to keep people who's, you know.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, High Republic.
Oh God. At least the part that you have to read is not as vomit-inducing as mine. So let's see what else do we find.
I do, Master. I do.
Separated from the others, nearly broken, and things still critical. The Force will guide me. With the Force, I am unstoppable.
Please shoot him quickly. Please shoot him quickly. Please shoot him quickly.
Oh, we wish.
Sure.
Sure, but... do you want Fatman?
Yeah, I'll voice the dude on left. A little help is always wizard, am I right? That...
we got Ram Ranch back, people.
Yes, we do.
Ram?
That's my name, and this is Kildo, a friend from Valo. We got trapped in an asteroid belt, tangling with a squall spider, and well, it's a long story. One day I'll tell you. But for now, let's get these people to safety.
Oh yeah, the boyfriend of the other kid. And again, when we find a guy person in this comic, they look more like women than most women do. Why?
Alright.
Sorry, at this point it is just tiring, you know.
Yeah, let's continue. It's fear. I can't escape it. I am afraid of it. I've trained my whole life to overcome fear. And I've failed. No, my son. Stop being so linear. We are made from water and stardust in memories and dreams, eh? Not simply straight lines. These writers couldn't draw straight lines to save their lives.
Yeah. And you know, it is irking me so much to hear this guy call this other guy son. You should not have this kind of connection. Friendship or something like that, yes. As a certain level of closeness because he was your Padawan, yes. But come on.
Would you tell a Padawan that they had failed just because they felt fear, because they wanted to save all their friends? No, I would laugh, because it's ridiculous, impossible. Okay, but what is the philosophy of the Jedi Order? There is no fear. Oh shit, there is no fear. That is the philosophy of the Jedi Order. What?
There is only the Force, you asshole.
Exactly! So, oh yeah, you could argue that a Padawan, it probably isn't reasonable to expect a Padawan to be trained properly to be at that point. But a knight? A Jedi Master?
Yeah, I mean, yes, you technically will have to fail a Padawan if they succumb to fear. Because to reach the next stage, at the very least, they have to have some control, just so it doesn't overpower them and doesn't lead them to the dark side. Or at least lead them to take bad choices that might kill or harm others. So yes, you piece of blue shit, you have to fail them. Why are you a master once more?
Good question. But I know it's ridiculous. Does that mean I shouldn't try? There's only one choice, to get them to safety. That's it. Them and everyone we can. That's how we win. No, the Force does not simplify the world in such basic binaries as win and lose. And with the Force, there is never only one choice. But then you will abandon Jedi on the grounds the Force wills it.
Yeah, and please, comic, don't talk me about binaries. We know you can't.
Yeah. My attachment is not to my friends, is it? Very good, Farzala. Go on. It's to certainty, because I believe certainty will keep away whatever I fear most. Now we're moving. Don't stop. Dance, Farzala. If I'm certain that the worst thing will happen and I take actions based on that, I believe I can evade it and save my friends. But the truth is, there is no certainty. To act this way is not to evade fear, it's to be ruled by it. To move beyond fear, one must let go of assumptions, of false certainty. Okay, so these dumb motherfuckers have clearly never heard of the phrase, hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
No.
The reason why that phrase exists is even if it is only a chance of something bad going wrong, you take the reasonable precautions necessary to minimize the damage should that bad thing actually happen. And you should certainly do things to prevent it from happening at all if you can. Saying fuck it, 99.999% chance is not a guarantee, therefore we should just completely ignore it, is not a smart move. It is a very strategically unsound decision. And for the Jedi Order, which is supposed to be about getting rid of emotion and trying to be an order that follows more a sense of rationality, this is completely and utterly batshit.
Yes, but as we have seen in this continuity, occasionality doesn't have anything to do with what these people do.
I know. The problem is, right now, Daniel Jose Older is trying to virtue signal about the values of stop assuming about shit. And he's completely falling flat in his whole attempt at virtue signaling and trying to preach to the audience.
I am going to go on a tangent for a second and say that I would love to see this person, this dear Daniel Jose, play a game of XCOM and take all the 99% shots possible. Nothing bad is going to happen.
I am going to just... I would... Imagine if Daniel Jose Older was in the previous life, say, a general. Like, say if he was a general in command in say, World War I. Well, sir, I don't think we should let them go. I don't think we should assault that position. There's a 99.99% chance of failure. And Daniel Jose Older's just sitting there going, well, yes, and if it fails, we will lose a lot of men. But that's an assumption. We should assault it with a bayonet charge.
The worst part is that I can see it. I just can.
Yes, I absolutely can see it too. That's just kind of the person that an ideologue tends to end up becoming at the end. Winner's King says when someone with an 80 IQ tries to sound deep. Egg fucking exactly.
I am pretty sure that 80 is far too much for this person.
Yeah, probably. Craig says these idiots struggle to choose if they want milk in their coffee or not. Why should we listen to them? It's actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually starting to wonder if this constitutes Daniel Jose Older essentially admitting that he wouldn't be able to answer the question, what if he didn't have breakfast in the morning? Because in the mind of Daniel Jose Older, that would be an assumption, and we can't have that. Assumptions are immoral, don't you know?
Apparently. By the way, Craig, they will never have milk with their coffee because that is white supremacist.
What about chocolate milk?
That is probably cultural appropriation or some shit. Or blackface.
I mean, if progressives really cared so much about adopting the look of other people so much, they wouldn't be pushing the trans movement now, would they? They wouldn't be defending woman face.
Ooh, that is spicy,
And there's the hot take of the day. Trans people are just blackface for women.
Well, we have a laugh in this comic. That is something.
And yes, for the record, for those who don't know, it isn't just gender that you can be trans with. You can now be trans race.
That oh my!
You can imagine. You can imagine how that's going to end up.
We don't need to. We have seen it a lot of times, but at this point, I just want to see it again because it will be funny.
Laughing Cavalier says, sir, the Germans broke through our trenches. How? We don't know. Find out next week after the general has a gay wedding. Exactly. Krieg says, pause. What sociopath puts chocolate milk in coffee? A progressive sociopath. And Krieg says, yes. That has to be a clip. Laughing Cavalier says, Elizabeth Warren will soon be 0.1% trans. No, she would be 99.9% trans. And 0.1% what she actually claims to be.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's continue the nonsense.
Yeah. Let's finish this horrible day.
Dance, Farsala, dance! Only then can we move with the force instead of against it. There are always more choices when we let go of fear. Will I be as wise as you when I'm older, Master Arbitruc? Oh, Farzala, don't be silly. You already are. It's not like I'm a ghost, my child. So do you think... So who do you think has been telling you all of this? I know what I have to do. Immediately
Go to the psychiatric, because you're talking to yourself, my man.
Immediately after realizing that he was crazy all along, he knows what he has to do. This is going to be fun.
This has been one bullshit after another in this comic.
Yeah. Attention! All Jedi and Republic forces evacuating Frang. Reverse course! I repeat, reverse course! Get airborne any way you can and head for the Ark Royal to protect it at all costs. Today, we save Eridu together! Please let it blow up, please let it blow up, please let it blow up.
Okay. I was going to scream. Are you telling me you mind-oiled piece of fucking shit that you are hoping against all hope that not a one-shot is going to fall into the experimental reactor that might be about at any time, and you are asking everyone to go there?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Craig says again, this story sounds like Windu's half-assed attempt to explain to younglings why they need to avoid attachments right after Yoda broke his favorite coffee mug.
There are no comments down there. Unsurprising. I am very, very angry right now. So, Ace, what do you think about this comic?
Is this the last page of it? No, it's not.
Yes.
So we do have...
If you ignore the back cover, it is.
Okay, I want to bitch about something. The next issue. The front cover is already god-awful.
Yes.
Look at the Starfighter. Look at the Starfighters. They're not even symmetrical on their designs.
No, they aren't, and I am not surprised. They got a child to draw this. Well, maybe I am insulting a child out there.
There are no comments. You're correct. So thankfully we can... Winner's King says, remember, the game pauses during cutscenes. Sadly, yes. Although sometimes I can be for the... sadly, yes. Although I kind of wish this would instead be like the cutscenes in Fallout 4. Where the enemies just still choose to attack you relentlessly, regardless of cutscene or not. Krieg says, no, it makes perfect sense. Why do you think the Jedi had the civilians near the reactors to begin with? Well, straight up use them as meat shields. Jonathan Phillips says, this is a really bad idea. Yes, which is why it's going to work perfectly. And we're not going to see any criticism of it whatsoever. So yeah, this comic is god-awful.
It is garbage. Literally garbage. The kind that you throw into the fucking sun.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to bitch for too long, but I am going to say that the dialogue was atrocious. The art, even when they tried, was god-awful. Every character here just became even stupider than they were, which is a feat. And technically speaking, if this plan goes ahead, you are putting millions of people at risk because fuck plans, I guess. I am not going to say this is the worst comic in the High Republic, but holy fucking shit, it is trying.
I'm not sure I would say it's the worst, but it does... It does demonstrate just how little Daniel Jose Older knows about the lore. And his attempt at virtue signaling, which was supposed to be the big event in this entire comic, in this particular issue, falls completely flat. And is just a complete disregard of Jedi lore and Jedi philosophy.
Or just common sense.
Yes. I'm not going to say this is the worst thing. It's not. I'm not even sure I would put this in the top 5 worst High Republic comics, period, even. But it is pretty atrocious, and it is definitely worse than most High Republic comics.
I would at least put it on the top 10, if nothing else.
Maybe the top 10. Maybe the top 10. But we have a lot of strong contenders so I'd have to think about that. But top 5, no. This would certainly not rank in the top 5 worst comics of High Republic, because there's just so many that are worse. From the very first issue where we find out that the Jedi sacrifice entire civilized planets just to test their Padawans and see if they're ready to become knights, to nobody expects you to not feel the things you feel, zine.
But I am going to be honest and say that in the last, 7 to 14 issues, more or less, they have done some heinous shit to the lore. But it seems that they thought, we aren't doing enough. Let's go back and hammer it home once more. We have to get back to our roots and destroy this fucking lore.
I still think that most of Shadows of Starlight most of the issues of Shadows of Starlight are worse than this one as well.
So yeah, not admitting that, but you're saying that they have picked up steam again. Let's see what the next one does.
Yeah, the next few issues are probably going to be atrocious. But the good news is, we're almost done, I think. Because I'm of the opinion that we're probably only going to get 20 issues of this. We've got another High Republic series that's currently ongoing that's going to be a much shorter series that's probably going to be another issue or 2 left. And then we might have another one-off or something like that. So I think we are pretty close to done. And that is the good news. We are finally, after years, since 2019, we're finally going to be done with High Republic.
But done, because I don't want this reviving again. You're saying because I doubt it. This has been amazing since day one. But I am not sure that Disney has understood yet that this is beyond awful.
Krieg says, no, it makes perfect sense. Why do you think Jedi had the civilians near the reactor? Okay, next issue. Everyone is here. Even the children are willing to boom. Some Tarkin sipping his wine next to the eye of the storm and Yoda. Thank you for your help. You will be compensated. Yoda. Eliminated all our 2 hasty promotions we have. All the stupid just blends together. It's not one really dumb issue. It's the occasional issue with an IQ in the double digits. I think most of the comics are IQ in the double digits, and you get some that are in the single digits, and this is close to that.
Well, at the very least, it is done for now. And as you said, there are only 3 more.
3 more of this, plus another 1 or 2 of another, plus another 1, so probably 6 comics left. Or 6 issues left in total, maybe. Hopefully.
We'll see. Let's hope that is it and we are done. Because, again, sometimes we have at least some fun with these comics. But this one has been an ordeal.
Yes, it has. And I think we're at a good stopping point since we have been at it for an hour and 20 minutes. So, is there anything else you'd like to
add? If you find this comic somewhere, throw into the trash, please.
Yes, please. And with that, this has been Ace.
And this has been Uros.
Thank you for being on.
Whenever you need me, man, I hope next one doesn't hurt this much.
I think the next one's going to be another High Republic comic, to be honest, because another one dropped the same day this one and the previous one did, so yay.
Oh, God.
But yeah, until then, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.